What a year, as my title says. What a year with ups and downs, man. It's crazy. Um, Sorry about that. How is everybody? All right, let me sign in here. So, let me tell you pretty much this week. Um, so, we started, I don't know, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe. Actually, it's been probably 4 months now. All right, I got a worker. I set things up better, so if I get a phone call, take it on my other phone here. I activated a new phone, the one I'm streaming from, because we hired an estimator, and I told you about him. I think I did. Super qualified. It just didn't work out, man. What's up, Walter? Oh shoot, I got out of it. Let me get back. I fired 2 guys this week and hired an all-star the next day. It's been a rough week. Dude, isn't that how it works? Isn't that how it works? Um, when you have a good worker, not that we want to get rid of any good workers ever, never want to do that. But sometimes when you hire a good worker, and I don't know when you say you fired 2 guys if they were rock stars or not, or good workers, but when you let a good worker go or they quit, you kind of know what you're looking for on the next one, and then when you hire the next person, they're usually really good. You know what I mean? You work 14 to 18-hour days. Yeah, that's tough, man. My guys do, the ones that never want to go home and they keep looking for more work. They put in 12 hours, so 14 to 18 hours. I mean, I've done that, and I'm sure maybe that's what you're talking about too. You're doing that, but some of the workers, my guys, the most they do is like 12. They were good, but went downhill last month. Couldn't keep up with the daily tasks everyone else was doing. You have 6 jobs, just left one of those. I'll work as long as I get compensated. Yeah. I just got done and I'm taking the rest of the weekend off. Nice. I'm trying it. I went golfing on Thursday and I kind of set it up as if I was having a day off. Um, so I told the office, tell everybody I'm off until Monday, right? Because we kind of had the schedule kind of booked for Friday, and I figured let's just tell everybody I'm off until Monday, see how it goes. And sure enough, it went good. I think the office helped me out. They tried their best to, not call me and stuff, and I think it went great. Some of the things they called me for were just kind of like on the business type stuff, not necessarily in the business type stuff. So I was really good with that. All my jobs now are mainly passive income types now. I quit the only physical labor job. Yeah, in the summertime, it seems a lot of automated. Like, it seems like summertime is pretty automated with maintenance, right? As long as you don't get any calls, everything's going good, because the grass is shorter because of the heat. Depends on where you're from, I guess, but that's probably the case most places. Um, and so things are get easier, smoother. Although, if the grass is dry and looks bad, the customers start calling for that. If it wasn't for sprinklers, we wouldn't be getting any phone calls, really. I mean, it would be dead in here. But because of sprinklers, I mean, we get 10 to 20 calls a day, and we're booking a ton of sprinkler jobs. So I'm really grateful for that. Yes, just me, Walter. The guys work 11 to 13-hour days, trying not to push them to their limits in the heat. Yeah. That's my me too. I try and give them Fridays off, whether they like it or not. Although if I have guys that are really good and they really want to work Fridays, we try to find something for them. But if they don't really say anything, we try and give it to them off. It helps payroll too. When all you do is work, it's hard not to. It's hard to take a day off. Even taking a day off, I find myself working. Me too, Bruce. Um, and my issue is I'm really heavy into sprinklers as well. So we do mowing, fertilizer, garden maintenance, landscaping, and sprinkler repairs. And it seems like every day there's kind of an emergency sprinkler issue. You know what I mean? Like one where the customer's like really panicking kind of stuff. Or my guys are doing a job that's making me panic because it's kind of big. You know what I mean? With sprinklers. So, because of that, I'm always on edge and I'm kind of always waiting for the call, like, to take it, whether it's good or bad. So, I got to deal with that in some way. When I take a day off, I tell my wife, I don't care if it's $1 million job, I'm not answering the phone. And she says, yeah, right. Yeah. I wonder what my wife would say. She wouldn't believe me, first of all. She'd be like, whatever. It'd be one of those things where I'd tell her and she just wouldn't even, for some reason, she wouldn't even hear it. Because she'd be like, whatever. I used to do HVAC. Now it's mainly investment type jobs or website running. Always, when a guy is doing the job, it's scary. I don't know about always. Um, for the most part, I do good. It's just when my guys give me too much more information, like they're doing a job and then they say, "Hey man, my job is great, but while I excavated, I saw the rest of something, a pipe or a valve down here, and if that thing goes out, that's not our fault." Okay, easier said than done, man. You should never have told me. Now I got to worry about it because then I've got to deal with the customer who's going to blame us for it. But it is good that they tell me, right? But I'd rather not know, to be honest. I'd rather get the call that there's something wrong and then look into it and talk to my guys. And then they say, yeah, well, I saw this when I was down there. I'd kind of rather deal with it that way, just so I don't have to carry that every day. You know what I mean? Um, just ran over a sprinkler with my boat. Help. Yeah. That pretty much is happened this week. We don't know what happened, but we see a skid mark of the tire of a car, and stopping waste is broken. So we think a car like drove up to the stopping waste, and with the weight of it, cracked down on the pipe, and broke the stopping waste. You know, like, hey, am I grateful that we're doing stopping waste type jobs and big valve repairs? Yeah, I don't mind. Like, obviously, we make money doing it, but the stress, man. I'd rather do little jobs. But if you're not stressing, you're not growing, man. So I was talking to a friend of mine. We had a job last week, and it was kind of a big, scary thing. Big type of pipe repair, and I was telling him, what happened afterward, and is that normal? And he's like, yeah, it's normal, man. And this is your first one, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, I can tell. Don't worry. Once you get done with this one and a couple weeks go by, you'll get another one someday, and you won't even stress out anymore. So I'm hoping that that's the case. Um, so here we go. Dad had a plumbing business, helped ran, and the workers almost burned the house down. Geesh. uh, the stress of something we aren't responsible for. Yeah. I mean, that is an issue. That definitely could be an issue. And it is good to tell customers what's going on, like, hey, I noticed this when I was down there or whatever. But when you can't see it anymore because it's buried under 6 feet of dirt, like, I don't know. It just doesn't carry as much weight. You know what I mean? Because the customer gonna be like, dude, what? So anyway, but like all things, I mean, we handle it. I'll handle it. I've got my guys are great, so if we have to go back and handle something, we'll do it. I also have subs that I can call, and I think they do great. Looking kind of chubby, bro. What happened? I don't know, man. I guess I've been eating too much breakfast or lunch or dinner or something. He was using torch under the house. Have a great day, fam. Take it easy. Later. Hi, guys. What's up, Leslie? So yeah, this year is full of ups and downs. It's really crazy. So about a month ago, yeah, that is Sam. I had that painting made for me. I know this artist, and I was like, I want some kind of Looney Tune thing to do with gas or something with my business. And he came up with that, and I loved it. He, when he made it, when he drew, finished it, he got a lot of people trying to buy it off him, and he said they were offering him more money than I commissioned to have it painted, and but he still honored me the price, so he still gave it to me. So about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, we started to get a little slower in landscape projects, in the big projects. And so it was kind of worrying us because the deposits every day have gone down like almost half. Yeah, about half. For every other day kind of stuff. You know what I mean? To where it was like, what can we do? Obviously, we need to get more work. So, but what we need to do is follow up more. So we're going around doing 5 to 10 estimates a day, and we're not following up. So once we give them the estimate, we just move on to the next one and the next one, and we never look back and go, "Hey, is there any questions you have with your estimate?" And it's because my estimator is just so busy doing estimates, she doesn't have time to like stop and we've tried doing like a schedule where you take Monday off. You don't take it off, but you don't go out in the field. You just do estimates and you call people back. The problem is she's so busy. She's so busy, man. You know, she does payroll, and she's also the estimator, which is great on slower times. But it's up until about 5 weeks ago, it was super slammed. So we said, all right, let's hire somebody. Let's hire a replacement. So we started interviewing. And when we do interviews for estimators, we take them around the block and kind of talk about plants and kind of say, hey, what would you do in this situation if the customer called and wanted that cleaned out and put something in? What would you do? And then we'll act like we're the homeowner, right? So we'll tell them what we want. I had a young guy reach out and buy his 12 yards. I got mad because I told him he was underpricing the lawns. 25,200. We were 100 more almost every yard. I have a 7-day follow sequence with lawns, and I personally do the follow up on the landscaping stuff. Yeah, I mean, we do have an automation that does uh, send out an email that says, like, do you have any questions? Um, so that automation that we send out that says, hey, do you have any questions about the estimate that we sent out? It's a really good one. It works really good. And it's just one that's pretty much our only automation. So and it works really good. I know that there's other automations out there that like I think there's a 21-day automation Mike Callahan does. I bet you those work great. I don't know. We should look into that. I'm just more of like we like to talk to the customer, not just an automation. Because we've tried it in the past, and they would ask questions, and sometimes we didn't know what the customer was talking about, so we just kind of ignored them. You know what I mean? So we just started doing the in-person on the phone type stuff quotes, which work for us. It works great, but we probably should have more of a system when we're busy. I'm actually going to write that down. I'm going to write that down and mention it at our next manager meeting. So manager meeting. Sorry, guys. We should set up like a 21-day automation to close sales, especially during the busy estimating times, since we don't really have time to follow up. I have to be really detailed because sometimes I'm at the meetings, the manager meetings, and I have my notes, but I don't have more context. So it'll say something like, we should set up 21-day automation. And then they're all like, they give me everybody puts in their input. And then after we decided, I'm like, the reason why I wanted to do it was because the estimators are too busy. So now I try and say as much detail as I can. What's up, my brother? Square Body Shelly. Oh, what's up, man? Man, it's been a while. I still see your post. Your funny posts on Facebook and stuff like that. So cool, dude. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just talking about my ups and downs this year. So 5 or 6 weeks ago, we decided we're going to need an estimator. So we were interviewing, and that way it'll give Rachel time to follow up and just kind of relax and not be out in the field so much. And she could close more customers if we had an estimator doing the estimates and her following up. That would be amazing. So we were interviewing, and we found we were interviewing some people, and we're getting kind of desperate. So we were about to pull the trigger on someone, and who we thought we were going to have to put in a lot of time to train. But we were going to do it. And then the next day, we interviewed somebody super qualified. They've been in the industry for a long time, totally qualified. I think that if he would go into any company, he would help them out. Unfortunately, I think he was kind of expecting a job where he could come in and kind of be like an account manager, like somebody that calls up the customers and say, hey, I'm your new account manager. If you have any questions, you need more services, let me know, and I'll come out and meet with you and set things up, and we'll get things going. I think that's kind of what he was after. He doesn't work here anymore, so we hired him, and we went 3 weeks, and it just wasn't a good fit. He's freaking super qualified guy, man. I'm like, man, I wish it worked. Super qualified. That was, so we have obviously some qualified people. I mean, Rachel, super qualified. Jose, super qualified. Fernando, when he was working here, super qualified. So we've had some really good qualified people, but we've never hired somebody who came in on day one that experienced. That was the first time. And I was pretty excited, but at the same time, I was really nervous because it was a high paying position, right? Like that position typically starts in the low 20s, but because he had so much experience and we thought he was just gonna go right out the gate after, a week of learning our things, our lawn thumb ways. He would go out there and kill it, and Rachel would close, and we were gonna do great. That's what we thought. So he was up there in the 30, right? In the $30 range, which, we pay that. I pay that. We have multiple employees who make that much, but never day one. You know what I mean? So I was kind of stressing out. Not only was I stressing out because he also was pretty adamant that he's going to take this job if he has winter work, right? So I was like, man, I've got to pay him in the wintertime. Like that's what I told him I'm gonna do. I gotta do it, you know? The problem was his first 3 weeks, we just weren't gelling, man. It just wasn't working. You know? Yeah, Walter, it didn't work out, man. Um, but it's okay, you know. Like I was stressing out because I was making the commitment to pay this person, and you know, we've had this position before, so it's not like it's a new position. We just kind of started doing it with less people. Like Rachel was now the estimator this year, whereas before she was the office manager, and we had an estimator, and they would kind of help each other out when needed. So we were going to try and go back to that. But the truth is, things are tight, so it's probably better that we don't have that position anymore. But that was not our reason for it not working out. We were gonna go through with it. It just he wasn't gelling with us. We weren't gelling with him. It just I don't know, man. Great attitude, great experience, great knowledge when he's talking to a customer. Rachel said she's she's never had a worker, an estimator that knew so much on the property. I mean, so his first job that he did bid and win was a French drain. And so our guys knew how to do it. We just never had that much. Um, our estimators never had confidence bidding it and supervising, so we never took the chance to bid it and win it. But he was super confident that he knew what he was doing and how to do it and all the materials. And so he quoted it and won it, and then we did it, and our guys knew how to do it. So like our landscape crew already knew how to do it, so it was great. And the awesome thing is this estimator, like he didn't take the credit like I thought he would have, because I said, man, you guys got that French drain done, awesome, dude. I thought I was gonna say, yeah, it's really easy, you know, like no problem. I told you I could do it, and we could do other things too. But instead, he said, the guys already knew how to do it. Like the guys did it. So I thought that was really awesome. Hold on, I got a phone call. See, bro. Oh, okay. Okay. So hay que hacer varias válvulas o se puede cambiar la una. Ok. ¿Y tú lo puedes hacer hoy? Ok. Ok. ¿Estás cerca? Pero yo tengo, ¿no? Bueno. Normalmente si es facilísimo son 366. Pero si hay algo más difícil para hacer ahí, podemos cobrar más. ¿Qué tú piensas? Ok. Ok. So vamos a decir 599. Ok, 600. Ok, yo le mando un mensaje. Ok, gracias. Ok, ok, gracias. Bye. All right, so we're going to try and quote a job here. I'm going to just send a text message. Oh man, sometimes I don't know how to get the freaking text message going here. All right, here we go. I can have your tech try and tech do the valve replacement today if you would like. It would be $5.99. Let me know, please. All right. So sorry about that. I kind of need to keep that screen open just in case. My lawn ad on a YouTube short, maybe. Oh yeah. Don't know if you can do that though. Probably do an ad for an estimator. Is that what you're talking about, Leslie? Just a suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't know if we're going to be looking for estimators anymore right now, because what we're going to do is have our ops manager try and do it. And he's really excited. He's actually really excited. I was hoping he would be excited too. And I talked to Rachel about it, and she said she was thinking about it too, as well, that he would do it, that he could do it. So I think we're gonna try to start that early next week. We just got to make sure he's situated, like all his main responsibilities can either be still done by him or moved around. So we just got to make sure he's able to do it. I'm on the fence on hiring another person for landscaping, getting a ton of leads, but worried it will dry up and not keep him busy later. Sorry, I got my office manager calling me. Hey, what's up?
Hey, are you at the top?
Yes.
Okay, because I have to run by to one of my boss.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
All right. See ya. How far are you?
I'm in Florence.
Okay. Because I'm just doing a YouTube, and I just didn't know if we're good though. All right. See ya. Bye. Okay. Let's see. Here's where I am with workers. If they're making money, I'm okay with hiring a worker that's making money. Like, if we can keep them busy, kind of like a Mo guy. I feel like at this point, so a Mo guy actually came in today to apply. And so I said, do you have experience? And oh yeah, I have 3 years of experience. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not really hiring, but if you do know how to use the equipment, there's a chance I could fit you in somewhere. So I took him to the yard, opened up one of the truck beds, and I said, all right, if you could take that, show me that you can drive that grandstand, because he told me he could drive a grandstand. So he gets up there and he looks at it like it's an alien spacecraft. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so you don't know how to use one of those? And he goes, no, I've never used one of these. And I'm like thinking to myself, you said Toro grandstand, man. What do these people think, dude? I get it. You want a job. I get it. When I was younger and I was looking for a job, I never really lied. I just said, dude, I'm a hard worker. I'm a hard worker, and I learn fast, and I need a job. That's pretty much what I would say at every freaking job. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I've worked at every grill you could think of. I know how to cook anything. I know how to serve everything. Like, dude, if you never did it before, why lie? Like, what do you think, that we're never going to find out that he doesn't know how to mow? Like, it's pretty crazy. I have to jump in 2 days if they need my help, but on the fence on pushing more marketing or hiring. Yeah, I'm spending a ton on marketing. I'm actually spending, I think, 5% right now, which I guess isn't horrible. Hey man, yes, someone say that, but I know. Someone said that, but I didn't hire him. My biggest red flag when I'm interviewing somebody is when I say, hey, so somebody is for sprinklers would come in and go, I'm a sprinkler tech, and I go, okay, what have you fixed? What can you fix? And they go, everything. And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, dude, why do you have to say that? Because you don't know how to fix everything. I've got techs who've been techs for years and years that work here. that were techs before they worked here, worked for big giant companies, and then work here, and they still don't know how to do everything. Nobody knows how to do everything, so don't say that. It annoys me. Man, yes, I had someone say that and didn't hire me. You get that BS. You get that BS in lawns. That's for sure, man. It's like all you gotta do is tell me, I use the line trimmer. Sometimes I use the edger on every house. Sometimes I don't. I love to mow straight lines. Dude, I'll take that over somebody who says they know how to do everything. Like, no, you don't know how to do everything. And not only that, you don't know what we do until I tell you. Or sometimes I will ask. I'll say, hey, do you know what we do? And they go, yeah, you do landscaping, right? It's like, yeah. So, but what do you mean you know how to do everything? I heard someone say, to slowly grow, spend 5%. To aggressively grow, go over 10%. Scary though, in my experience. Yeah, dude, that leads me. So hold on, I'm still my ups and downs, guys. I still have these ups and downs. So I was stressed because we needed to hire an estimator. So I hired the estimator. Then I was stressed that, you know what, we're gonna pay this. We gotta pay them. And work is slow, and he's not closing. Again, it's not his fault. I'm not blaming anybody. And we didn't fire him or anything about having to do with payroll or nothing. It was just, I believe it was pretty mutual. He didn't want to work. Like, you can tell he wasn't into it. We weren't into like not getting communication with us or the customers. So I think it was just kind of like I said, I think he just wanted to be an account manager. And when a customer needed him, he was going to go out there and make things right. I think that's what he was expecting, and that's not what we needed. So it just didn't work out. So we lost him, and then one of my yard guys, the guy that takes care of our yard, that cleans it up and all that kind of stuff, he quit. He moved. He actually moved, and I guess some people knew, but when they told me about it, I thought he was just going to go visit somebody in like Ohio or something like that. I didn't know he was moving there like forever until like the day before. And somebody said, yeah, what are we going to do when Leo leaves? And I go, well, we can manage until he gets back. The problem is I probably said we can manage, and they were probably thinking, oh man, we're going to manage without him. Like, I thought he was just leaving for a few days. So then they said, no, he's coming, like he's gone, he's leaving for good. And I go, so I called him right there on the speakerphone, and I talked to him, and I'm like, are you moving? And he's like, yeah. And I go, well, when? He goes, well, actually, I'm not sure. It could be today, or it could be tomorrow, or Friday, which was last Tuesday. He told me this. And then he didn't show up on Wednesday, and one of my other workers kind of rents a room out for him. And he said he told him that he moved out, so he's gone. So that's 2 workers, and that's going to relieve some financial pressure, right? I mean, yes, he was a good yard guy. What I mean by yard guy is he cleaned our shop yard. Okay, he sharpened the blades, the equipment. When somebody dropped off an equipment, he was the one that gave them the spare. He put it back. He cleaned their trucks. I mean, he went to the dump every day. I mean, it was amazing having this guy. Amazing. He started off as a garden maintenance guy, and he was not good at it. So we moved him to mowing. He was not good at it. Somehow I said, hey, while you're here, could you clean the equipment? And he cleaned the equipment better than anybody I've ever seen. He pretty much did it better than me. Okay. And I taught him how to sharpen the blades and take the blades on and off the grandstands and the other mowers. And he did it the exact way I wanted him to do it. Normally I train people to do it, and they still kind of, like screw the gun in like the moment it touches the bolt. He didn't. He would screw it in with his hands till it was tight. Then he'd slowly use the gun and then hit it one time. I mean, he did it perfectly. And then he would clean the equipment. He'd check the oil, and then he'd clean the yard. So he'd go around like trimming like the little weeds everywhere. Like everything's clean. All the bricks that were on the corner. You get it. He did a great job. Man, that sucks. Yes, that's one. That's how one guy was going to leave after no call, no show, plus low numbers for 1 month. So that's why I fired him, unfortunately. Yeah. So because of that guy leaving, I mean, yes, he was great, but I'm not going to cry that we don't have a yard guy. It was just like nice and probably something we shouldn't have been paying for because we probably really shouldn't have in order to make more profit, like to make a good amount of profit. We probably shouldn't have had this guy, but it was really nice. And actually he did a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like he really did a lot of work and then he left. So it's like he did a project for us. It's the way I'm trying to look at it. And he completed it and then he's gone. So it's like, oh, good. Like, and we already have somebody that wants to replace him, not full time, but just do it in the morning. He wants to come in earlier, clean the equipment, make sure the sharp blades are sharpened, and then go do his route. And then when he comes back, he wants to do these other things. And I'm more open to that because he's seen this other guy doing it and he knows what it is that we have to do. So I feel really good about that. Hey, landscapes. It's been a while probably. But yeah, so I lost those two guys, which I think it's all good. And so that's going to relieve pressure. Just those two guys alone is about $2,000 a month, a week. And so, and they didn't bring in any money, so it's got to be good. Like it's going to be better for payroll. The thing is, they're still going to be on this next payroll. All right, so that was happening. Somebody said something that got me thinking about my other thing. My other concern is I really am sick of my debts, guys. I don't have that much debt, to be honest with you, but I do have credit card debts. I have a Bobcat that I owe $5,000 to, and I have a plow. Well, I have 7 plows, but I owe $7,800 to that finance company or whatever. So it's like one plow that I still owe, but I don't really know how that works. But anyway, and then I have 5 trucks that are financed. Not bad out of 25 trucks. One of them is my personal truck, and then 3 of them are the garden maintenance trucks, and one of them is a sprinkler truck. So 25 trucks, 5 of them are financed. Actually, out of the 25, I'm not counting my truck. So really 26 trucks that we have, 5 are financed. My bookkeeper thinks that's really great. I'm with you, man. So I feel good about that. But the credit cards, it's kind of what's kind of gnawing at me. Also, I have sprinkler parts on credit with the sprinkler company. And I owe, I hate to say it out loud, $10,000. Okay? But that was pretty much for all the parts. No, I spent more money. How much did I spend this year? I think I spent, altogether, said and done, I think I spent $14,000 on sprinkler parts. No, I've spent more than that. I'm not counting the credit card charges. That's just my credit. But so I owe $10,000 for 2 different companies. One's 7 and one's 3,000. So, and I plan on paying that Monday. So that'll be done. And then I'm going to start trying my best to not use any credit cards, guys. That's it. It starts now. You gotta make a decision at some point, and mine is right now. I'm not saying I'm going 100% no credit cards right now, but I'm gonna start depositing my money into an ops account, an operations account, and start paying for things out of there. So I'm gonna try and keep $30,000 in there at all times. So here's my plan. I'm gonna give you the summary of my plan. Okay, this is not the ultimate real deal. I need more. I need to tweak it a whole lot more. But basically, when I get a deposit, let's say a $10,000 deposit comes in, 6,000 or 7,000, because now I've got two guys that don't work here anymore, so I think the payroll could be a little less now. I think I could go down to $6,000. So I'm going to put $6,000 a day out of the $10,000. I'm putting $6,000 in payroll. The rest, which is $4,000, I'm going to put into my operations account, or whatever is needed to, so it stays at $30,000, right? So let's say I've got $28,000 in my ops account, and I still have $4,000 to move from my deposit account. I'm going to put $2,000 into the ops account, and I'm going to put $2,000 into the my credit cards. So I'm going to keep doing that until my cards are paid. Now, I've kind of been meditating on this thing, right? I don't know if that's a good word. Pondering, meditating. I don't know what you want to use, but I've been really just thinking about this for 2 solid weeks. When I first started thinking about it, man, I was losing sleep because I was so pissed at myself, because it's tough with the credit cards. Are you wanting to pay them off by the end of the year? To be honest with you, I would have said yes 2 weeks ago, but now I'm thinking that I want to pay a third on each one. You know what I mean? Because banks like that. Like, that looks good. They don't need to be completely paid off, but if I do a third, I might feel better about myself. I'm still going to chop the shit out of those cards. I don't want to use those cards anymore. So that's going to be more of like the finish line type thing. Like, I'm not there cutting the cards yet. I'm not done that. I use cards to give me cash back paid off monthly, and I don't get charged interest, but I get 2 to 3% cash back, actual cash, not rewards. I do too. I get literally like $1,200 a month on my credit cards, and I actually use that money to pay my personal at-home credit card that's paid off. So I have no debt at my home. And those rewards kind of fund my going to the movies, when I swipe my card at a restaurant. But it's not worth it. To me, it's not like I know there's always somebody like, pay it off. I don't pay it off. I don't pay it off. Like, it sounds great. I don't do it. I want to do it. That's what I'm going to do now. But I don't want to think about it, because you got to go like scorched earth stuff. Like, I don't listen to Dave Ramsey anymore, but I used to. And when it comes to credit cards, I just need to put money in, but don't take any out. So what I got to do is keep a certain amount in my ops account, and I just got to use that. Anything left over goes to the cards. Once I pay those off, then I'm going to start putting it into profit, or just putting like a 10% of the 2,000 that's left over into the profit account. So at least I'm putting something away. I do need to be careful for winter, obviously. I do have some money put away already for that, but I need to do a little bit better, a little bit more, and I need to be more consistent at it. Yeah, winter cash. Same, because I don't want us to be stretched in the wintertime. Winter cash, same. I get the points, but you're getting charged a crap load on credit card interest. I know, so that's why I'm going to pay it off, Shelly. And then I'm at 0% interest right now. Yes, I wish I was at 0%. Man, that'd be amazing. Debt isn't bad as long as we can manage it well. I agree. But it just really bugs me when, like, I feel really good about my business. I feel like we're doing good. But then we have like slow weeks where deposits are lower than normal. And then you see the muck. You know what I mean? It's like, when things are great, it's like you don't see it. It's like, oh, this is wonderful. But then when you have slow deposit weeks or days, and you really can't put any money around, and then you got bills coming at the same time, it's like, oh crap. Man, this isn't as pretty as I thought. So I want to get out of this credit card debt, because look, I'm super happy with my 5 finance trucks. Super happy with it. Like, I'm great. It feels great. My Bobcat, I only owe $5,000. Yes, there's still an $800 payment, and yes, I have an $800 payment for my plows, but I only owe $7,000 on that. Like, that's nothing. The interest on my Bobcat is 1.5% or 1.2%. It's like barely anything. It's like I'm literally just making payments to it, hardly any interest. So that is a great buy. So I don't mind doing that. I just would like to pay it off, but I'm not. I'd rather pay off a credit card than that because again, I'm paying for that asset, hardly any interest on that, and it's kind of the same thing with the plows. But I do want to pay that off, so at least I have an option whether or not to go another plow. But I think we'll be good with 7. It helps to grow the business. It totally does. It totally does. And I may consider taking out I don't want to say, I may consider taking out a loan to pay off my credit cards. I haven't done it. I kind of like been interested, so I looked in 1 or 2 places just to see if it's possible, but I didn't apply or anything like that. And I'm just thinking about it. I don't want to get into more debt. I really don't. So all I have are I have quite a bit of credit card debt. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest with you. I have about, last I checked, $120,000 in credit card debt. So I don't like that. I don't like it, but I'm gonna start today, as I'm telling you guys, that I'm gonna pay it off slowly but surely. And at the end of this season, if I can pay off 1/3 of all the cards, I will feel like I did something. You know what I mean? I do have a mechanic, so I don't know what you mean by less breakdowns. I do have a mechanic who I may have scared last week because I was a little stressed. He needed a big part, and I was like, dude, we don't have the money for that. And so I don't know if and you know, I told him we just hired 2 new people and blah 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 blah. And I don't know if he's like, because yesterday he wanted to talk to me, but I wasn't here, so I need to talk to him as soon as I can. I was hoping he would just tell me over the phone, but it kind of seemed like he wanted to talk to me in person. I don't think he wants to leave. I'll be very sad if he leaves because he's such a good mechanic. I mean, just the real deal. Just the real deal. It can get on top of you. Credit can be good, but I would not myself, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm at the point where I think I'm done with credit. Like, most of my cards, honestly, are maxed out. So what I do is like, I'll put a certain amount in there. I wouldn't say they're maxed out, but like, I have my gas card that I like to keep $1,000 in there. So when it goes down to like 700, I'll put another 300 in there, and I kind of just keep doing that. But I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to like put money in, even if it's like $150 a day, and don't touch it. You know what I mean? And just let it build, put it away, chop it up. I just want to feel great about my company. You know what I mean? Last year you mentioned you were going new vehicles due to older trucks breaking down. Yeah, and I did that. Walter. I have. So here's the deal. At the beginning of the season, I had 3 trucks that were broke and kind of almost like stacked on top of each other. I'm just kind of being sarcastic, but you get the idea. They were dead. I had like a big bush, like weed was growing in between one of them, like through the bed. It was dead. You know what I mean? And then I had all my other trucks. We were just like, I mean, duct taping it. You know what I mean? Like, for lack of a better word, we were duct taping everything. Every once in a while, we would pay a big, $600 to $1,000 to $1,200 repair because it was just too big for us to just do it ourselves, and the truck was too important to just let it die in the backyard. You know what I mean? So we were just doing our best to keep it up. Jose, bless his heart, was trying his hardest. He's really good with his hands. He's really mechanically inclined, but he's not a mechanic, So he was trying his best. And so I believe we had a total of 15 trucks on the road that were working. The rest were in the yard or like, you know what I mean? It's just a mess. So this year, in November, last November, it was actually more like December when we closed the deal. I got 3 brand new. They're not brand new, but they were 21 Rams with like 30,000 miles on them. The bank was like, this is such a great deal. We got to get it for you. You know what I mean? Like when I told them what it was. They couldn't believe it. They actually sent a rep out to go look at them because they didn't believe that it was that good of a deal, because the company was going out of business and they had a fleet of leased vehicles and they were just selling them at cost. They were just trying to get rid of them at cost. And so I originally qualified for 4. That would have given Rachel an estimator truck, but I had, with that bank, I also have a line of credit, which I still have like a bunch of money in there. I try never to touch that. And I also had a credit card that is maxed out. So I was like at their limit for credit, so they only gave me 3. Would you recommend going that way? I feel like every other week it's something with trucks and they are older. Well, see, here's the thing. My bookkeeper says that he is super impressed that with all the trucks I have, I only have 5 that are financed. So you got to keep an eye on, like, you can't go nuts, right? Like, I think 5 is manageable for me at my size. But if I had any more, I think I'd be like, oh, I'd start to feel like that heartburn. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But because I got 5, I don't know. I feel great, and the trucks are freaking amazing. I think right now we've got like 36,000 miles on each one. I mean, and they look good. You know, when they pull up to a house, I mean, it's like a nice truck. So it depends on how many you would get. You would only need one more reliable. I would do it. If you don't have any other finance trucks, I would do it. And again, yeah, I would do it. It's so nice not having any problems. Now, we still have problems. Like, we haven't had any with the new trucks, but because of all the trucks we have, sometimes they don't get maintenance. They still don't get maintained. Like, I have to rely on my guys to say, hey, I've got to take this one in. Like, I know we need to do a better job of like tracking it on an app or something, and we got to do that. We have the stuff. We've just been busy, man. But he's got all the trucks going, and so at this point, we're gonna try and. He's been working on equipment too. So because he's always fixing something, he learned how to fix the equipment that we have. So our mowers, our grandstands, our trimmers, edgers, even the blowers. I mean, so now when we have it broke, we drop it off and he just fixes it. I mean, he works here, so he fixes it. So things are going pretty good. But I just want to be like proud of my numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy with the business. Like, when I look at it, you know, kind of thing, when we're talking about it with people, like, it's nice. Like, I'm proud of it. But then when I like I said, when I have a slow week or slow days and we can't move money around and we have a bill at the same time, that's when I'm like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, we need to focus more on that kind of stuff, less on the operations, but that's how we make money. But so at this point, we have 3 extra mow trucks with the mow bed, custom beds. You know what I mean? I've tried selling these trucks in the past, not the same one, but I've tried selling one in the past, and it's too expensive for people. You know, they just don't see the value. So it's kind of like I'm stuck with it, which I'm fine with because I want. So if we had all the mow guys, we'd have 9 mow guys, 9 trucks with custom beds. Although we only have 8 grandstands, so I would need to buy another grandstand, which I don't want to do, especially this year. I feel you, man. I want to be proud of it too, where I'm like, hell yeah, we can get that, or yeah, fix it, no problem. We need to fix that. Like, I remember when I could think back when I only had like $10,000 in credit card debt. I can remember those days, and I thought that was crazy high money. Now I'm at 120, and I'm sick of it. And the thing is, I don't need to use the cards. I really don't. I just haven't figured out how how everything's going to work with all the other managers that buy materials and stuff. I know I can get them a credit card and stuff, and I may have to do that. But it's like, the last 2 weeks, as I've been thinking about this, I realized that I'm going to need to put in I need to dump in a bunch of money into the ops account and just keep that maintained at 30,000. Really, it should be higher, but come on, let's start where it's kind of reasonable. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start using that account, pay all the bills from there, and constantly keep every day look at it and go, okay, I need to put 2,000 in there. And I need to be like I am with payroll, consistent, and it's got to be done. Got to be done. Like I put $7,000 in payroll every single deposit. And if we only get 7,000, I only put 7,000 in there. I don't go, oh, I'll put 6. And if I have a bill that's like pretty much, has to get paid, of course I'll do something like that. But for the most part, I make sure there's money in the payroll account because that is my top priority. So I feel like I can do that with the ops account. I just gotta build on that. I got each crew a credit card. Me too. I'm at 50K on the credit cards. For business, I need to start paying it down more. Yeah, man. And when you really think about it, it's not even the interest. Yeah, okay. Of course, there are people that are like they hate interest. I do too, but I'm not like it's not like a rash. Like there's interest. I gotta pay it down. It's more like it's interest. I gotta pay it. Like I hate it. Add up all your interest charges that you are charging you each month, and you will want to pay it off ASAP. Well, guess what? I pay $5,000 in interest. Now that's including all my stuff. That's including the trucks, the Bobcat, which is hardly anything. It's everything, but pay my credit cards is definitely a big chunk of it. Probably $2,000, maybe more. And also, I think part of that too is the mortgage on this place. I don't know. My bookkeeper gave me an interest thing one day, and it was like, damn, that's high. So I think that's also with the shop mortgage too. So I'm paying like $5,000 a month on interest. I want to pay them off. I just had an interest charge today for almost $400 on one credit card, and that one is the one we use a lot. And then there's a $600 one, so that's two out of 7 cards, and we're at $1,000. So I do want to pay them down, man. I want to do it, and I'm gonna do it. We should have like an accountability. We should set up like an accountability group and pay it down, or hold each other accountable. Maybe not. You know what I mean? Like I know how it is. I've been in accountability groups, and they don't. I have noticed it doesn't work very much. It doesn't really work. There was a group that I was really involved with, and we did accountability with leads in closing. We were telling each other every single day how many new clients we got, and that was really awesome. And that was really fun. Hey Siri, call Mariano. Come on, man. This is important, damn it. Damn it. This is driving me nuts. Hey, no lo estás cortando todavía, ¿no? Ok, ¿ya le hablaste? Ok, decirle, ok, yo le voy a decir que 400 está bien entonces. Ok, 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 gracias. Bye. Ok, bye. you know, these, I got a sprinkler guy out there who's basically on a property looking at a job, and he can't quote it because he doesn't really know how to use the app, and he doesn't speak English. So I'm kind of the middleman in this. Instead of like, I don't know, the customer is kind of getting one on us here. Hey Siri, call Mariano. I just gotta tell him one more thing here. Hey, pero no cortes nada hasta que él diga que sí. Ok, él dijo que está bien. Puedes empezar. All right, bro. Gracias. Bye. All right, so we got a job going. All right. We also have a big job, and then we're going to. You ever heard of the Federal Bureau of Reclamation in Provo? We're going to a job. We're going to look at something there today. The plant manager is going to meet us there, and I got to give him a little bit of notice. I think somebody's here. Hey, I'm in my office. Let's see here. I think the only week the group is super close. I think they only work if the group is super close. Yeah, like daily check-ins. Yeah, that's the way it works, and that's how we did it. Daily check-in. I don't remember how we did it. We texted each other the leads, the lead count, the close count, and our current customer count, and we did that every single day. Credit is a bit like being a hoarder. It may get on top of you when what you're in the shit house. I wouldn't touch it myself, but I understand. No, but sounds official. Are you out there, Amanda? Amanda's here picking something up on the weekend. So yeah, I'll check in. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna post it every day because I mean it's kind of an embarrassing topic, you know. Trying to get out of debt, you know. But but I think if I have a milestone, I'll let you know. I'm gonna start with, unless somebody wants to try to do like an account, like Walter, if you want to do an accountability group, like I'd do one with you, man, for sure. I'm at the 5% attrition rate for this month because I reduced the route area. Like my first step is I've got these big debts that I have that I'm gonna pay off. Hopefully, I'm gonna pay 10,000 off Monday for sure. I already have that ready to go. The only problem is I don't have the money in my account. Because we charged it between yesterday and today, and that'll leave me enough to pay that off and put my money in the payroll account. For those guys who I let go, right on, yeah. So that's my first step, and then my second step is to fill up my ops account at 30,000. Now let's hope. Now I'm waiting on two checks that should arrive any day now, including now. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if it came today. But I'm waiting on these two checks that will put me over 30,000. And when I get that, I'm putting it directly into the ops account, and I'm gonna start paying bills out of there. And I'm not gonna touch any credit card on my end from me. Now I still got to figure out what to do with the managers, but they don't go crazy, you know. They don't spend a lot. They just buy materials that we charge for, and we mark up our materials, so we do make money on those. I just got to put the money back, which I do. I have never had an issue with their materials card. In fact, their materials card has a lower amount than any other credit cards for that reason, so that I don't let it go too far. You know what I mean? I think that has been my issue in the past. So we'll see where we're at, but I'll tell you right now, I'll be super happy if we're just at 30% on all the card on each card. If I could just pay off 30% on each card, I will call that a win if I lock it down. Now, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do in the winter time? Like, I'm at the point where like company first, and I'm doing everything I can, including. But when it doesn't snow, what the hell am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? To keep our people here, like, am I supposed to go into like supreme debt and borrow money and figure out how to pay everybody to keep them here? No, I think that I'm gonna be like, guys, if there's no money to pay you guys, I understand if you don't want to work here anymore. Like, I'll do that in the wintertime because I got to do something. Like, it's really nice to pay them through and get through the winter, but then you always start in a hole, and I don't want to do that anymore. I do have some plans I've been working on, and it's possible we make it work if I can pay off all these debts, save up enough for my truck payments. I think I got something brewing, but it's way too early. But I got to start thinking about it. My other thing is we need to start closing plow jobs now. We haven't even had any phone calls yet. The day that we get a phone call for snow is the day we're going to go nuts with closing snow because we need it. More money in than going out, maybe. Yeah, definitely got to do that. For sure, got to do that. But if I could just keep a certain amount in my operations account, it's kind of weird that I've been in business all these years, literally 15 years doing this, and I never thought about that. I never thought that I have to have a certain amount in there to pay everything and keep the money at that level. That's what we do with credit cards. Why not just do it in your normal checking account? So I'm really mad at myself. But it could be that I'm so stubborn. Somebody probably told me one time and I was like, I got this. Keep your head above the water. That's what I'm trying to do. We should definitely talk about snow this week or next week. Game plans, definitely. So I was considering just plowing and not shoveling this year, like the residential. I was considering only doing commercial jobs, the parking lots, and not residential driveways and things. Um, but then I changed my mind because I talked to a good friend of mine who basically said you can never go wrong with revenue. You just got to plan it better, right? So if we can make $100,000 in snow residential prepays, which is what we do every year, we can formulate a plan to pay everybody and keep it. So I know I have that coming. It's going to come eventually when we go for it. I just need to make sure that my bills are taken care of with that cash flow account. And I just need to start learning how to say we don't have the money. Have you guys ever said that? Like, I know I've done that with equipment. Like, I've had like my ops guy go, "Hey, we need a grandstand." And I go, "You're crazy. You're not getting one." Like, no way. I have done that in the past because that's a big $10,000 to $12,000 charge. So it's like, no. But all these other things that are like $1,000, $500, it's kind of like, yeah, let's do it. I'll put it on my card and I'll go in more debt just to pay it. That's stupid, you know. Um, yeah, man. Are you using your Bobcat to help push snow? No, we don't. My Bobcat sucks. It's an MT100. Somebody just parked in front of my shop here. I doubt they're coming to talk to me, but you never know, I guess. Let's see. Oh, I think they're here to talk to my office girl. Anyway, what was I saying? My Bobcat is an MT100. It's small, it's slow, it's loud. It's not really loud, but you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't use it for snow, and I don't need to. We use it to load the debris into the dump trailer, and that's all I need it for. And it works great for that. Um, especially on those commercial lots. No, we use a truck with plows. I have V plows on all my trucks, and I'm really happy with that. It's all about what's coming in money wise. Yes, I said that this week. We don't have money for new equipment. Yeah, man. But my other thing, something I've never said no to is like in the wintertime, hey man, bring your truck in because and I can't pay you anymore. So, I can't pay you. So I think you got to turn your truck in and I'll see you next spring. I've never done that. Okay. I don't want to do it, but I think I need to. Like, company first. You've got to think of your company first. Employees are the most important thing, but if you don't have a company, your employees can't get paid. So you got to have a company. So it's company first. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about since 2023, when I've had my worst winter ever. We went into 24 with the company first attitude, and I'm still working on it, still trying to build on that because it's really important that we understand that we've got to, um, prioritize that the business is healthy. The healthier the business is, the more money everybody's going to make. That's the bottom line, and that's the truth. And that's what I need to focus on. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I do have a lot of overhead bills as well. So that's something that I've been working on even since last year to lower it. A lot of those bills though, like my auto insurance this month is $5,500. I think normally it's $4,500, but because of an audit, I think they put it on this bill, and so that's why it's at $5,600. But I think it's just a one-time thing. It's going to go back down to $4,500, which is still a lot. It's the work lawn that's coming in. If doing okay, you will be okay. That's true. If the work revenue comes in, we do great, and that's the truth. I just don't like that I forget to take care of the base of things when we're doing really good. And right now, this is a great time because we're still supposed to do a million or close to it from now until the end of the season. So this is still a great time to make a push to pay these cards off. I don't think I'm going to completely pay them off, but I think I can do the 33% paid off on each card. I think I can do that. I feel like it's possible. And the more important thing, though, of all that is that I actually start this thing with the cards. You know what I mean? Just starting it will get me in the habit, which I think is what we need to do. I know, bro. Thanks, Leslie. I feel like you're real motivational. You're motivating me with your kind words, so I appreciate that. Um, anyway, guys, I think we've been at it for over an hour. I just want to let you know kind of what's been going on, ups and downs. I think things are stabilizing right now for the good. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I was a mess. I was a mess. I couldn't sleep. I never dealt with that before. That was the first time. When people say, man, I couldn't sleep, I was so stressed. Like, I never understood that because I'm like, man, that's the best time to sleep is when you're stressed because then nobody's bugging you. Yeehaw. But I literally was thinking about, payroll and things like that like 2 weeks ago. And I think now that we hired somebody and we felt the strain of like, we're going to pay this, we got to figure out a way to that person being gone, going, okay, now let's make moves instead of stressing out. Let's move somebody that's already in our position that we're already paying to do this, to do that position. So that's what we're going to try and do. And I think that that's just the best way. Here's real quick. I'm just going to talk about it real quick because I know I could just go on and on about everything, but what's the relief? What would be a relief if you're stressed out about hiring an estimator? Well, if we don't do landscape projects, we don't need an estimator. So if we don't do that, we can get rid of the landscape crew, which altogether, that and the estimator runs at about $1,000 a day. Just labor runs at about, give or take, it could be higher than 1,000, it could be less, especially if they all work overtime. I mean, you're looking at $1,500 a day on just labor on that crew because they need an estimator. So you're like, well, and obviously when they do in big projects, I mean, it's wonderful, like it's all worth it, you know what I mean? But when they're not, then you start thinking, well, do I get rid of it? Okay, what's the next step? Okay, let's say we don't get rid of it, we hire from within to do estimating, so we're not raising our overhead labor costs, but maybe we're not doing planting. Maybe if a customer needs planting, we can plant, but maybe we won't do the design. I think it's easier. That's a more realistic thing to go. You know what, customer? I understand you want plants in that area. Um, we have a designer. They can do it. But let's say our designer. Let's say for example, we do get rid of it in the future, or let's say the designer leaves. At least now we're not trying to find a new estimator and a designer. We're now just trying to find somebody to do the the cleanups. You know what I mean? Like we can do that without a landscape designer. So so that's kind of why I'm going to make a push to the management team that we move this worker that we already have to be the estimator. And if the customer needs planting advice, consultation, or design, they'll have to. Then we can either bring in our landscape designer who we already have on staff, or we charge for that service additionally. So it could be a good thing, you know. But I also know like getting those big jobs could do good. But I really do feel like if we said, look, if you commit to this project and put 50% down on the project, do your landscape, we'll do your planting design for free. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Sorry guys, I'm getting calls. I know my guys are almost finished with their big job, and then they've got to go to that other big project. Um, Flyers in letter boxes, they all do it. Yes, I'm trying to simplify everything, even the design. It takes so much time. I know, man. I know this is crazy. Let's be proud of our businesses. Let's get out of debt. Let's make money. Like that's the best thing. What could be best for everything. You can pay your employees more. You'll make more if you get your debt down, and you can be proud of your company. Like I'm proud of my company, but honestly, when you look under the hood, I don't like some of the cobwebs. You know what I mean? I just like, if I didn't have that debt, this place would be awesome. Not only that, if I get rid of all my debt, I could possibly apply for a loan so we can upgrade the yard, and that'll be easier stress than what I'm dealing with now because I'm going to try and self finance that. Ugh. I tried the dope marketing and they charged 3K, only had 6 calls. Epic fail or bad timing. Yeah, I mean, it could be the company. I mean, I think marketing is one of those things, man. You gotta like, it's so hard. I'm happy with my marketing company, but even though they work great for me, I don't know if they would work great for everybody, but they might. But it's marketing is weird. It's weird. It's just kind of like anything, right? Like you're mowing. You have customers that you make sure it's perfect, and then you have other customers that you just want to hurry up and get it done and go to the next, right? Like I hate to say that, but I'm sure my Mo guys have done that. And that's probably what marketing companies do as well. Like they have their favorite customers, and then they have others that they just can't figure out and they're still charging, you know what I mean? Having more success with LSA. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Nice talking with you, Walter, Leslie, and everybody else that posted here. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Talk to you later.